lot and lot that you can judge. So we have games and we have prizes to be won, and I hope you all pay attention. So we'll be starting exactly now. So good afternoon, good morning, and good evening, everyone, depending on where you're joining us from. And I say a very big welcome to you all. My name is Sarah Peter Doye, and I'm the Vice Chair of the International Affairs Committee for the Young Surveyors Network Lagos State Branch. And it is my honor to be your host for today's session, which is titled Career Advancement and International Immigration Travel Opportunities webinar series happening today. So before we move on, like I've said earlier, there's going to be lots of interesting things. I would advise you join with your bios and your books. I have mine here, and there are going to be games and lots of things, prizes to be won as well. Okay, so we'll dive right into the session for today. What is this webinar session about? Why did we bring it up? Why did the International Affairs Committee for Young Surveyors Network look at the reason to bring this webinar series up? So we noticed that there is a wealth of opportunities in that we young surveyors can actually tap in for. And by pursuing opportunities abroad, we not only broaden our professional landscapes, but we also make significant contributions to our communities through the expertise and the perspectives we gain in these international opportunities that we actually get or go for. So now the Young Surveyors Network Lagos State Branch, the most vibrant and largest chapter within YSN Lagos. And we boast, in YSN Lagos, we actually boast of membership of approximately 600 diverse individuals. And this is a very diverse set of individuals coming from different backgrounds. So we saw that the need for exposing our members, for telling them and making them know about this international opportunity would be beneficial to their careers. And it's not just about opportunities, international opportunities, it's about international immigration, how they can actually immigrate through surveying, through the surveying and construction route. So this webinar session is actually aimed at enlightening young surveyors about various immigration options, thereby preparing them for international exposure and opportunities that will ultimately benefit the broader community. Excuse me. So this event is said to be a pivotal experience for young surveyors eager to venture into the international career and ensure they are well equipped for success on the global scale. So we have speakers that will be talking about different opportunities, international opportunities that are available for young surveyors, even in the non-surveying aspect of surveying as well, so that you can actually tap into these opportunities. So now, without further ado, I would like to welcome our state chair in person of Surveyor Adegoke. Is he available? Please, if you are online, can you please signify, or can you please speak? Surveyor Adegoke.
Sorry, sir. I just spoke with him. His network is fluctuating. I don't know. So he's trying to join back.
Oh. Okay. So
right,
if the state, okay. Surveyor Adegoke, please, yeah.
All right. Pardon me. It is what it is. Lagos is just what it is today. All right. Good afternoon to first our participants. We want to appreciate you for joining and then taking time to learn and also unlearn. We appreciate your participation, your presence on this particular webinar. Thank you very much. And then, of course, I'd like to welcome here also our speakers, person of Ike Maduako, Taye Oyikweme and Blessed Buddha. Thank you very much for accepting to share your wealth of experience with us, and then of course your knowledge in your vast knowledge in this career advancement, and then the opportunities that abide in the international what's it called at the international level. Thank you very much for taking up this responsibility, and then for affording us your time today. Thank you very much. And then also to the committee, thank you very much for putting up this very good thing. And then I use this medium to welcome every one of us to this webinar. And then I hope and I wish that we don't just join and then go back to doing what we do and not concentrate. I would like that we all concentrate and then pay attention and learn from this particular thing. No knowledge is a waste, and that is a fact to every one of us. So thank you very much, and then we're all welcome to the webinar. Over to you, moderator.
Thank you so much, Savio Adegoke Adediji. Thank you so much for that wonderful welcome address. And with that, we go to the next thing on the agenda. Okay, so before we go to the next thing on the agenda, I would like to say some rules. So while the presentation is going on, if you have any question at all, please feel free to make use of the chat section. Drop your questions there. My committee members are on this call and they are making sure to pick and pinpoint all questions, and we'll try our possible best to answer all questions after the presentation. The presenter has finished presenting. So there will be a session for questions and answer. So during the question and answer section, you can also raise your hands if you wish to speak, if you wish to talk, to speak to the presenter. So if you wish to talk about your questions, you can raise up your hands, then we would pick it up there. So I mentioned earlier that there will be games. Yes. So there will be games. We urge you all to please do pay attention, be attentive, and jot some things down. We don't know maybe what you're going to jot down would be the question that will be asked. And trust me, we at YSN Lagos, there is a gift for the winners. Yes, for the top 2 or top 3 winners. Yes, there's a gift for them. So without further ado, let's go straight into the presentations for today. Let's go straight into what we are here for. So the first presentation is on the topic, how to harness new technological trends of global opportunities. And this will be taken by Blessed Buddha. So do permit me to call on my co-committee member in person of Marcus Chinedu to take the citation of Mr. Blessed Buddha. Marcus, are you on the call?
Yes, ma, I am. Good afternoon, everybody.
Okay, you are up, please.
So yes, Mr. Blessed Buddha is a dynamic computer engineer with a profound passion for intelligent systems and AI-driven innovations. He holds a Master of Engineering in Artificial Intelligence from the prestigious Carnegie Mellon University, where he graduated with distinction, and a Bachelor of Computer Engineering from the Federal University of Technology, Minna. As an accomplished researcher and problem solver, Blessed has consistently demonstrated his ability to mentor and guide students to success, leading teams to winning positions in several high-profile international telecommunication union competitions, including AI in 5G, autonomous networks. Notably, he played a pivotal role in the creation of MyraBot, a groundbreaking medical assistant robot developed by high school students in Nigeria. Blessed's dedication to advancing AI is further evidenced by his extensive body of research publications and presentations at international conferences. As a featured speaker of the Young Surveyors Network, he will share his visionary perspective on leveraging AI to address real-world challenges in surveying and beyond. So, ladies and gentlemen, with gratitude in my heart, let's make welcome Mr. Blessed Buddha.
You are welcome, Mr. Blessed Buddha, and thank you so much, Marcus, for that wonderful recitation there. So, can you confirm you are able to speak,
Yes,
Mr.
thank you
Blessed?
yes, thank you so much for having me. Are you able to hear me?
Yes. Can you do you have a presentation?
Yes, I would like to share my screen.
Okay, please do. Let me stop sharing so you can share.
Okay.
So please check if you can share now.
Are you able to see my screen?
Yes, I can.
Okay.
Yes, it's very
Okay,
good now.
great.
Thank you.
Yeah. Just a moment. I want to keep track of time so that I don't write on time. Okay, thank you so much for having me. It's a privilege for me to be here to share and as well listen to other colleagues and learn from you as well. And so I want to talk about, I'm a computer engineer basically, but I'm specializing in AI, and I've done a lot of work that intersects with surveying and applying AI to help the environment. So I want to talk today about geo-AI opportunities, particularly that are within the scope of the International Telecommunication Union, where I also work. So first of all, for those of you who don't know who the ITU is, I want to introduce them a bit. The ITU is a specialized agency of the United Nations that handle regulations related to ICT. So just like you have the World Health Organization, that is the UN branch for health, ITU is the UN branch for ICT. It was established in 1865, and it's one of the oldest international organizations. So basically, ITU helps in promoting international collaboration in the IT field, and as it will be interesting to you, also in regulation of radio communication and assigning satellite orbits to different organizations. And they are also keenly interested in improving infrastructure in developing regions. So ITU has expanded the scope of work that it does, and one of the work that ITU does really is looking at all the SDGs, the Sustainable Development Goals, and tries to look at how technology can be used to help in addressing those problems. And so one particular track that I guess is very related to what all of you are doing is on applying AI and machine learning to geospatial analysis. So ITU organizes competitions, which is the AI challenge. And the goal of the challenge, like I just explained, is how you can use AI to address problems in the environment, in communication networks and other areas. And specifically how those challenge happens is that ITU curates problems from different parts of the world. In this case, in the environment settings, they look at pertinent environmental problems, and they curate data from those regions. Some of the data are real-world data, majorly, and some are even simulated data. And then they don't just provide the challenge for you to solve, but they also provide technical webinars, mentoring, and hands-on sessions to guide participants in those challenges. So as of the last statistics we took in 2021, the challenge has had almost more than 2,000 participants from over 80 countries. So students and other experts, not only students and other experts are able to solve problems, learn, get mentorship, win certificates, and even monetary prizes. And as well, ITU has global summits that they organize each year in the headquarters in Geneva, where winners are sometimes sponsored to go and present their solution in that summit, which usually happens sometime between May to July of every year. And also, if you solve problems, which is what you are solving related to the environment, ITU also, and you are a winner, ITU also sponsors you. Some of the winners to go to the COP conference, for example, the upcoming COP29 conference. ITU has funds allocated to sponsor people to go and present their solutions in the COP conference, which because it's related to the climate. So basically, ITU would help you to map from ideas and concepts to actual real-world solution. And because, as for those of you who may be into AI, you know that AI is a computing-intensive task. So ITU provides registered participants with compute, like graphic processing units, which is hosted in Geneva, but they will grant you remote access for you to be able to run your models or whatever analysis that you want to do. So you don't have to worry yourself about where you're going to get compute to participate in those competitions. So I want to give you practical examples of some past problems that ITU have hosted, that we have hosted. One of the problems is this problem from Italy. It's on air pollution susceptibility mapping in Milan. So this was one of the hosts. The problem came up alongside from a consultant at the World Bank. And basically, the objective of the problem is to produce an air pollution susceptibility map. So for example, if you have this region, you have this map, you want to be able to show using this heat map of different regions that the degree of how susceptible that region is to air pollution. So for example, this green part here, ML model has flagged that these parts are good. These other regions colored yellow is moderate, and then this danger is showing that, oh, this region is really susceptible to air pollution. So it's forecast because it's predicting that it's not about what is happening, but that in the near future, these regions are susceptible to air pollution. So when this problem was hosted, data was provided, and then at the end of the day, all approaches you propose would be reproducible, and then you could code in Python. So these are all the data, time series data, the digital terrain model, DTM was provided, and other data which I know you are quite familiar with. So the goal is for the AI model to take this data and show this, come up with this mapping. Another challenge that was also proposed 2 years ago, 2023, was landslide mapping as well in northern Italy. The only difference is that in this task, the idea is for you to be able to use machine learning model to crunch through labeled data to be able to identify areas that are susceptible to landslide occurrence. Once again, data was provided, compute was provided for participants. So this is the training data that was provided, and that's a challenge. You can take a look at it. I love this one just for you to know that the problems are not just about images. You also have problems that are related to text, with the advent of large language models. So this is a problem statement from Qatar, and it was on location, mention, recognition from Twitter text. So basically the problem here was you have this data set of a lot of Twitter tweets, and the goal is for you to use AI to be able to identify locations that are mentioned, particularly as it relates to crisis. So for example, you have this tweet here, a user is tweeting here that heavy rains continue to batter this airport in India. So the goal is, okay, because it takes a lot of time for emergency responders to be able to know that danger or crisis is happening in some regions. So ML models can look at different tweets that are happening and then be able to identify, okay, there's danger that is happening, and also be able to tell emergency responders where those problems are happening. Yeah, so this is more of a text problem rather than the conventional images, in case there are people who are interested in this type of problems. So those are past problems that have been offered, but specifically for 2024, these are the problems that we are offering as problems on agricultural plastic cover mapping with satellite imagery, estimating NO2 ground level, the level of NO2 at ground level using ML. There's also an easier problem here on vegetation mapping, which I guess could be an interesting problem. And also there's a problem we have from the National Institute of Statistics and Geography on human settlements and detection, once again from images. And there's also this problem from the Amazonian basin on detecting runways, and all this, the data is available, the compute is available, and so you could play your hands on it. And so for each of these problems that I've shown you, there are monetary prizes that are available. And so the prices for each problem is varying depending on the difficulty of the challenge, but you can, if you want to find out more, the prices for each challenge, you can click on this link and you can see the price for each challenge and certificate to be awarded to all participants to submit a valid solution. And if you are among the top 3 winners, you'll be able to win some monetary prizes. And they are cool monetary prizes, given the fact that you don't need to expend anything, because even the GPUs that you use are provided by the ITU. So how do you participate? Like I told you, is the link, join. If you have ITU always encourages collaboration, so you could join as a team, study, code. And you know, ITU offers mentorship. We have experts from different parts of the world, so you can always ask questions on the forums and join roundtable discussions. And then if you're interested in furthering your education, ITU offers journals where you can write your contributions and publish all your findings. So in terms of timeline, this is usually the timeline of how the competitions run. Between February to June, we curate the problem statements, and then from July to October, so you're right on time, it's when the competitions run. So if you're interested, you can take a look at the competitions and join, and then between November to December is when the solutions are evaluated, and then prizes are given to the winners. And then from January again to around March in 2025, you have opportunities to publish your solutions in ITU journals, all for free. So apart from the competition, ITU also has what we call the AI for Good scholarship. So if you have your own work that you are doing and you want to showcase your work, you can submit your innovative AI use cases, particularly as it relates to climate and the environment. And ITU, if you have very interesting problems that you want to solve, and for this, it's not necessarily, in fact, a problem that you've solved. Maybe you look at a problem in Nigeria where AI can be used to solve, you submit those use cases. And if the use cases are very interesting, ITU would enroll you to become an AI for Good scholar. AI for Good scholar means you get access to mentorship. You also get access to stipend, monthly stipend, where ITU will guide you to bring your solution into reality. And then it's where you'll be invited to Geneva to come and present your use case during the AI for Good summit that runs sometime between May to July. So I wanted to share a bit of my experiences, running out of time. So I've participated in this competition myself with a team from Footmin, and to show you that it's possible. I mean, you're competing with people from all over the world, but if you're hardworking, you really stand a chance to win. So I advise you to work in a team. We've had several publications and won several competitions. This is even outdated in 2022. Every year we participate and somehow we find a way to win, even though not always the first position, but we always find a way to win. So it's to tell, and now I don't participate directly, but I mentor a lot of teams of students. I've mentored students from Ahmadu Bello University, from FUTMINA, even from a couple of private universities in Abuja. So I encourage you to participate, but it's not limited to students. Like I told you, even if you're a professional, you're an expert, you can always form a team and participate in these challenges. This is a picture from last year. I wanted to show you this. One of us, one of the colleagues we worked with last year. So he worked just the same process like I explained to you, worked last year, and then was invited to Geneva, we sponsored, all expense paid trip to come and present his project. And then now he has also submitted this team, not one person, have also submitted one of the innovative use cases and are part of the AI for Good Scholar, and would continue again up to next year. So this is also one of the professors we collaborated with from FUTMINA. Who was among the panelists there in Geneva. And lastly, as well, this one work we did with, I myself was well involved with this with a couple of other colleagues as well, on classifying crops and weeds from UAV images that we have collected in Nigeria as well. So you could come up with your own use cases, pass through the Scholars Program, and then you're able to publish. It's a very good publication that has been attracting a lot of citations. And so if you intend to further your education, maybe PhD and all, we know that having publications is really a big difference maker. Okay, yeah, I'm right on time. I have 15 minutes. I didn't want to go over time, so I'll be happy to take any questions. But the website is here. Please, you can always click on the website to find more information. But I'm happy to take any questions you may have.
Thank you so much, Blessed. Thank you so much for that wonderful presentation. So, if you have any question, I'm speaking to the participants now. If you have any question, please do raise up your hands if you wish to speak about, speak to the presenter, or you can drop it on the group, on the chat box. So, Blessed, you have a question here from Adib James. He's saying, what is the requirement to join the ITU and how can someone join?
Thank you for that question. There's no requirements. Once you are willing to participate and learn, you are free to join. How do you join? The link is on the slide. I'm going to share the slide, but I'll also put the link on the chat window. Find an interesting problem, and then once you register, become a participant, you have access to all the guide, all the resources that the ITU offers. So no requirement, there's no restrictions. Anybody can join. I'll just put the link on the chat.
Okay, that's awesome. Thank you. But I guess where the person is coming from is, not a lot of people have this experience or expertise in AI, and bringing it down to Young Surveyors Network, we are actually trying to look at ways whereby we can diversify. So not a lot of people know about AI or are actually grounded. I think that's the point where the person is actually coming from. So maybe someone that doesn't know about ML, AI, how can they join? Can they join? Can they even, do you understand what the question is about? So please,
yes,
go ahead.
Yes. So if you don't have any background in AI or maybe coding a lot and you want to join, I feel you are fully aware of this, and that's why it's not just a competition that they allow you on your own to go and just start solving the problems. In fact, if you check if you go over the page, you'll get to discover that ITU has a set of so number one, if you give a problem, ITU gives starter kits that sort of introduces you into how to start with the problem. There are videos and tutorial sessions on how to start with the problem. And apart from that, there's a long chain of tutorial videos that ITU has free on YouTube that introduces people who don't have a background on how to code and all that is necessary. Yeah.
Okay, so these resources are actually useful for them to understand how to code and how to actually go about the problem that they are enrolled in.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Blessed. If we have, do we have any other question before we move on to the next section for today? I think that's all. I think that's all. Thank you so much, Blessed, for your time and
Thank you so
your
much.
wealth of experience that you have shared on this webinar. Really do appreciate it. So we'll be going straight into the second section for today. We'll be going straight into the next section rather for today. Please, can you all see my screen? Okay. Okay, so we've covered the question and answer section, and we'll be going straight into games. So you all remember that I mentioned that there's going to be games and there's going to be cash prizes and there are like things to be won. So how this game is going to be is the first person to type the correct answer would be the winner for each question. The first person to type the correct answer will be the winner for that question. So the first person, so now I will be displaying the question on the screen. Please do read it and drop your answers immediately. So now we have 2 questions for this section before we move to the second presentation. So now, here we go. What is the most common tool used for measuring horizontal distances in surveying? What is the most common tool used for measuring horizontal distances in surveying? Drop your answers in the comment section. My colleagues are there to actually pick the first person to answer the question. So we are moving ahead. This is the answer. The answer is measuring tape. So we are going to the last question for this section. Which famous international landmark was surveyed using modern GPS technology? Which famous international landmark was surveyed using modern GPS technology? Drop your answers in the comment section. The first person to drop in the correct answer wins this the games. So we move straight to the answer. The answer is the Great Wall of China. So thank you so much for everyone that's participated in this game section. We're having other game sections, so please do stay attentive and alert. So right now we'll be going ahead straight to the second presentation. We're going to the second presentation titled Immigration Documentation for Career Advancement. Titled Immigration Documentation for Career Advancement, and this will be taken by Mrs. Taye Kechinye Oyikweme. And I'll be calling on my colleague in person of Marcus Chinedu again to read a citation. Marcus, are you on the call?
Yeah. Yes, ma'am, on the call. Good afternoon, everybody.
Okay.
So,
Marcus, are you on the call?
Yes, I'm on the call. Can you hear me?
So if Marcus is not on the call, I'll be taking a citation myself.
Marcus is on the call, he's responding.
So Mrs.
Hello.
Taye Oyikweme she has a
Hello?
hello?
Yes, I can
Can
hear
you
you.
hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. I can hear you.
Okay.
Okay, so
Okay, please go
Mrs.
ahead with the citation.
Taye Nkechinye Oyikweme, she has BSc in Accounting, Delta State University, MSc in Marketing Management in LASU. She's a managing partner at Leone Travel Services Limited, located at 21 Sunny Jigide Street, Lagos. At Leone, she acts in the capacity of a business/operations manager, as well as a partner overseeing the company's running interest. Leone Travel Services is a travel management or service company that offers travel-related services or products, travel advisory, visa assistance, accommodation, flights, insurance. The journey started in 2008 when she started working as an accountant at World End Travelland Limited, rising up the ranks to function as the operations and product manager of the company and as the general manager, Wantra, until she resigned in 2020 to kickstart her own business. She has therefore been working her way up with knowledge of a 16-year-old career in the travel management. She also acts in the capacity as a trainer with Konuk Consultant, where she trains organizations on travel-related courses, protocol, and training in management. Ladies and gentlemen, with utmost joy in her heart, let's welcome Mrs. Taye Nkechinye Ohikweme.
Thank you so much, Marcus, for that wonderful citation. And Mrs. Taye, please, you have the floor. Thank you. Can you please confirm you can hear me and you're on the call?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay, thank you. So do you have a slide to share?
Yes, I do.
Okay, I would stop sharing to allow you to share. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Taye.
Yes, your slide is clear. We can see your slide, but your voice is somehow distant.
Okay, so I'm going to try to be as audible. Is that better? Is that
Definitely better, ma'am. Yes, ma'am, it is.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so thank you for the opportunity to share on something that I love doing. I'd like to appreciate YSN, the ESCOs, the speakers, and everybody present. It is indeed a privilege to be able to share this afternoon. So I'm going to go right into it. International migration documentation. So we're going to be looking at what and how we should be how we should look at travel or migration, as it were. So we're going to look at why you want to travel, when and where, then the documentation, which is the meat of why we are really here. So I listened to I don't know if it's a surveyor, but I listened to the speaker that spoke on artificial intelligence for I think surveying, geospatial, and all of that. So I kind of realized that perhaps lots of people are headed in that direction. So that kind of like answers the question, why do you want to travel? You know, so first of all, everybody wants to travel, but usually people don't even know why they really want to travel. And that makes it a little bit difficult when you go to a consultant and say, I want to travel, and they ask you, what do you want? And then you just start putting your thoughts together. But I say that it's always better when you know why you want to travel, where you want to go to, and the timeline you want to travel. I had him talk about a program for 2025, something in 2024. So that would help us answer the question when you want to travel. Now, the reason why these questions are very important is because it becomes a guide, a pointer for you as a traveler going for the conference or going for studies on the required documents that are needed. So we like to say that traveling, migrating cannot be done outside of planning, which means that you need to plan your travel. You need to plan that next move. First is that you want to be clear on what you're trying to achieve when you do travel. And that's so that you just don't get stuck. You know, I want to travel, there's this course I want to do, I just go right in, apply, I get the admission or I get the invite to go for the conference. And then when it's time to now start putting things together, you get stuck like, oh, I didn't know I needed this. That would have been a lot of waste of your time. And as we know, time and money, you know. So you want to be clear on what you're trying to achieve with your goal. You want to be focused so that when you get on the road, you hit the mark. You want to check that you have an international passport. That is very, very important. For us in the travel business, we tell ourselves that if you're a consultant or a travel operations officer and you do not have an international passport, you're not ready for business. because at any point in time, you can be called on to go on a trip, represent somewhere, and you need to be sure that you are available. So having that international passport is like, oh, I'm available, And if you do have an international passport, you want to be checking your passport validity from time to time. So have an international passport is perhaps not good enough, because you require at least 6 months validity from the date of your travel before you can make that journey. So, for us, we would always have a calendar or on our Google Calendar where we say, oh, our passport is going to expire so and so date, so that we can start planning the process of renewing our passport, as it were. So planning is very, very important. Then, as you're saying, oh, I want to go to the ITA, I heard the other speaker talk about something about Italy. You want to go to the Italian embassy page. You want to find out what is required for you to make that journey. Because if you do not, it's going to hit you. It's going to hit you in the face, and you find that it will just be a lot of disappointment. Oh, I've done so much and I can't go any further. You're stuck. Or otherwise, you contact your travel consultant. And once you contact your travel consultant and you go to the embassy page, you know the things that you need to put in place, and then you can start working on this documentation aside your whatever it is you're trying to achieve when you travel. So then you basically just start. So for us, if you want to migrate, immigration is planning. It's a lot of planning. So and the earlier you plan, the easier and the less stress-free it is for you. So what is our goal? Our goal with this entire course is to ensure that when you do, decide to make that trip, you are actually successful. Your outcome is successful. When we talk about outcomes, of course, it's the visa we're talking about. It's a successful outcome because you have planned adequately and your documentation is right on point. So I already spoke about the international passport. That's your basic travel document. It defines your citizenship. It allows you entry exit outside your country and back into your country. So it just basically says, oh, Tai, which is me, is from Nigeria. Oh, Adebola is an American citizen. And that passport opens or closes doors for you. Now, if you do not have an international passport, it's pretty easy with the Nigerian Immigration Services. Just go to their office, get your form. So just also listed a few of the requirements you need to get your international passport right here in Nigeria. The application form, which you'd always get from the Nigerian Immigration Services office, your recent passport, your NIN, your birth certificate, your identification certificates, whether it's state or your local government. So if you've not gotten one before, those are the basic requirements for getting one. And if you have gotten one before, I think it's a little bit, you don't put out so much documents as it were. So we're now getting to the real thing, which is your entry permit. Now your entry permit, which we all call the visa, is basically an endorsement that's placed on your passport, giving you access to the country of your choice. So if we decided, using Italy as an example now, you want to go to Italy for the conference or for studies, as it were, you need to approach the Italian embassy to get an endorsement of your passport, to enter the country, stay for X amount of time, and leave at a particular or specified time frame as well. So the purpose of your travel is very important. I asked the question, we started with why do you want to travel? It is very important because it actually points you in the right direction of what category and type of documents you need to start to put together. Now, visas are usually categorized based on the purpose of the trip. Why are you going for the trip? Is it to visit your family? Is it for holidays? Is it for business? Is it for a conference? So you need to be very, very clear on why you are going for that trip. Needless to say that, especially in countries where you perhaps have to now give an oral interview, all these questions that we actually asked at the onset is very important at that point, because you're going to be having an interviewer asking you these questions, and you need to be able to you need to be able to speak the truth to life in a way that is convincing. So we spoke about visa categories. When you go to the embassy website or you meet a consultant, what your consultant will do is he would already know the categories you are going to apply through. However, if you are a DIY kind of person, do-it-yourself kind of person, you can do it yourself. You go to the embassy website, the categories would differ from one country to the other. So it's not a one-size-fits-all. For the UK, you have a series of categories. For Australia, you have a series of categories. For the Schengen states, you have a series of categories. For the US, it's just 2 categories. You are either a non-immigrant coming for a conference, for study, for work, or for holidays, or you are applying for an immigrant visa, which is applying for a green card. So you fall under any of the 2. So once you are able to understand the visa categories, which would have been achieved at the point when you visited the embassy website or you spoke to your consultant, then you are guided properly on where or what next to do. So we're getting into the real meat of it, which is the documentations. The documentations are, I divided it into 2. There's the basic documentations. And the reason it's basic is because these documentations practically cut across all embassies. Practically cuts across all embassies. So it doesn't matter which country you're going to, as long as it's a sticker visa, not an e-visa. Even though right now we're having scenarios where countries issuing e-visas are also are asking for these basic documents, unlike before. These documents are standard, so that's a basic, so standard documents that you need to have at the back of your mind when you want to process your entry permit. The first we've already spoken about, which is your international passport. I mentioned earlier that your passport must at least be 6 months valid from the date of travel, not from the date of application. From the day you are leaving Nigeria, stepping out of Nigeria into the next country, your passport must be 6 months valid. However, some embassies will say, so there's always this conflict, like, oh, but I went to the embassy website and they said 3 months validity. Remember that the embassy will grant you the visa if you have 3 months validity. However, the airline will not carry you if you have 6 months validity. That's one. Secondly, I would not even apply for you with a 3 months visa, 3 months validity, because immigration policies change on a day. So what happens if today I see 3 months on the embassy portal or website, and then by tomorrow morning, they come and they say, look, we're not doing it again. We want to increase it to 6 months, which is the standard. Then we have a challenge or issue at hand. So I would say that even though the embassy says 3 months passport validity, try as much as possible to ensure that your passport is valid for 6 months. Yes, I know that the new immigration rule, if your passport is not like a month or 2 months to expiry, they would not renew your passport. However, there are ways that they are able to achieve that. If you can only speak to the immigration people, get someone that is reliable to speak to you or talk to you, and then they can help you overcome that particular challenge. So your passport must have 6 months validity, and then at least 2 blank pages. Because we also have scenarios where you have a customer that has a 10-year or maybe like a 5-year or a 6-year passport validity that has a 10-year validity that has like 6 years validity. However, there are no empty pages inside the passport because they are well versed in traveling. So we always say that if you're a well versed traveler, please make sure that at least you have 2 blank pages, because if you do not, it could be grounds for refusal. So make sure that it's 6 months valid and then you have blank pages in your international passport. Now, the next thing we're going to look at is the evidence of your financial capacity. Now, this is your employment. Where are you working? Where have you, what do you do there? So you want to get information, you want to get information from your employers, coming to say, oh, Tayo works at Leone Travel. She's been working here since so date, and she earns so amount in the capacity of this. We know her. She wants to travel to Italy for the ITU conference or whatever conference. Please give her the necessary consideration, whatever. So your evidence of financial capacity will show that you are earning something where you live in Nigeria. Your bank statement would also corroborate, because your bank statement would have on the inside your salaries that are dropping into your bank statement. Now, I also know that there are lots of surveyors who run their businesses by themselves. So your company, so you have your company documents that would work. Then you are paying yourself a salary. It always makes sense to always pay yourself a salary, even if you are the business owner. Pay yourself a salary. Let there be pay slips that show that you earned so and so amount from XYZ Limited. Now, you also want to look at your property and your investment. All that are like your net worth. So they're just trying to see how much you have. They want to be sure that you are not a flight risk. So you need to have that at the back of your mind. Now, for people who say, oh, my uncle is going to sponsor me, then you know that the same information that we require from you would be required from your sponsor. So if you are saying that, oh, uncle wants to sponsor me, is uncle ready to drop his bank statement? Is he ready to explain why he wants to sponsor you? So with travel, with exit permits, in processing it, you are answering a lot of questions. Why, when, where? Why are you sponsoring? Who is this person? What is he to you? So all those questions are questions that your documentation should answer. Your property documents, your investment documents, yes, as much as their financial capacity, they show your financial abilities, they also will show some form of ties to Nigeria. Because if you're applying for a conference visa or a business visa, I expect that you're coming back to Nigeria. So I want to be sure that there's something that is bringing you back to Nigeria. Your employment is bringing you back. You have properties, you have investments, you are married, you have children and things like that. So that brings us to our next document, which will be your civil documents, your birth certificate. Now, some people are like, oh, what do you need my birth certificate for? Basically, just to corroborate your story that you were born on 10th of February, 1900. Your marriage certificate, if you're married, can also prove as a tie for you. Then your change of name for married women. So if you don't have one, you're married, you want to travel, you don't know what your marriage certificate is, please go and start looking for it. Your change of name, you have not done one, go and do one, so that when it's time to travel, these documents are readily available. Then your proof of accommodation, your itinerary, at that point in time, when you want to travel. Remember, we spoke about the timeline. When do you want to go? That is the information that the accommodation and the flight itinerary would carry. Then we have your cover letter or your statement of purpose. So we have 5 documents here that are your standard or basic documents for visa processing. Once you have this at the back of your mind and you are almost there, so that when the invite comes or the offer letter comes, you are almost there, you are ready to go. So we're now going to the other documents. So there are now other documents that you want to look at. Now, you probably won't get most of this until you visit the website or you speak to a travel consultant. So based on the reason for travel, so you're either traveling for study. So if you're traveling for study, you perhaps need your evidence of study, your language proficiency test, if and where applicable, a letter of acceptance, and other related documents, your receipts. Some schools will require, or some courses will require that you have paid XYZ amount before they give you certain documents. The travel and medical insurance, NHIS in the UK and the likes. Your medical tests, tuberculosis, X-rays, then your previous education, still your employment history, your character requirement test, the police report. Some countries require NDLEA. So if it's a business or a conference, like the ITU, you're going for something like that, you need a proof of business relations. Some proof to show that you are a member of that body and that group. perhaps correspondences between you and the group saying, oh, I'm coming for this event, you show that. So they send you an invite, you put in the invite, and then travel insurance. It's not really much of, it's not really stressful as long as you plan it. If you plan it, I advise that if you have an international passport, scan it down. Your birth certificate, scan it down. Your marriage certificate, all of that. Thank God there's cloud now. Scan everything down and let them be somewhere. Your CV, your curriculum vitae, make sure that it is ready, it's updated, correctly updated, especially to education and your employment, such that there are no gaps on the inside. Because if you say, oh, I went to school I finished my BSc in 2019, and then the next thing we are saying is 2024. So there's a gap between 2019 and 2024. What was happening to you? You need to ensure that there are no gaps in your CVs. You also need to start working on, okay, you started school in December 2017, and you finished in December 2019. Now, in our experience, and in my experience, that is where customers now say, or people say, oh, this thing is too stressful. But however, if you are, if you try to take note of these things right from the beginning, it makes it easier, because when when these documents are required from you, you're just giving it out just like that, and it's not so much of a big deal. So in conclusion, I hope I have not overspent my time. In conclusion, the goals are actually achievable. Getting your visa is actually very easy. However, it is easy with adequate planning and documentation. Like we say in the union, like I always say, your documents are a representation of you. So imagine if I didn't know you and all I had was a couple of documents to find out who you are. Remember that you are not there, and you want to ensure that I get adequate information about you. That implies that when you are sending me your documents for applications for your entry permit, your documents should answer every why, who, when, what. Why is he traveling? Where is he going? Why is he going? How important is it to him? Does he have the wherewithal, the financial capacity to travel? Where is he getting the income from? If he's getting from a sponsor, why are they sponsoring him? Will he be coming back? When will he be coming back? So, your intention to travel is very, very important. And it's usually more successful when your career path is clear and easily spelled out without any ambiguities. I think that's where I'm going to end it for today. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for that wonderful presentation. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So now we'll be going to the question and answer session straight up. Please, if you have any question, do well to drop it on the chat, or if you would like to speak with the speaker, can raise up your hands and would give you permission to speak. Okay, so Alamutsu is saying thank you, ma'am. It's really an insightful session, and I hope you all enjoyed the session. I did. I also learned new things from this session, and so it's really inspiring. Thank you so much, ma'am. So if you have any questions, please do drop your questions on the chat section. Please drop your questions on the chat section or raise up your hands. Okay, so I think everything is clear. I think everything is clear. Okay. Okay, so Azubike is asking a question for you, Mama. He said, what documents will be needed for studying abroad, maybe through scholarships?
Okay, so now, first of all, you need your, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, so you need your basic documents, your standard basic document, the 5 that I had actually listed earlier. Now, in addition to that, you're studying abroad. You need your letter of admission. Now, the question now is it a fully sponsored scholarship or it's just in part? Now, if it's a full scholarship, there's going to be some documentation that shows that. Why are you getting that scholarship? You know, is it because you have this particular GPA? All those questions, any document that can answer those questions should be needed. Someone is also asking, how do you get applied for scholarships abroad? Now, that is subject to the university or the college that you are interested in. So if you want to get a scholarship or apply for scholarship abroad, the first question is, which schools in what destination? Remember, where are you going to? Which schools in this destination offer scholarships? Do they offer full scholarships or part-time scholarships? So that when you're putting your documents together, it's a progressive thing. Yes. I'm sorry, I'm answering questions as I'm saying that. Yes, you need to have.
That's actually fine, ma'am.
Yes,
But we have 1 more minute for the question and answer
yes.
section
So you need
because the
an
next speaker
international
is on the
passport.
call.
Yes. You know, this is Nigeria. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to say that in a derogatory way, but this is Nigeria. How long does it take us to actually get that passport? Except if you want to do it, if you don't want to do the fast track or something, it takes for you to get an appointment. You're getting an appointment, then you now wait for the appointment date to get your passport. So it's better that you have your international passport now. Your passport is valid for like 5 years. The minimum is valid for 5 years. So if you do if I decide to start applying now, what's the chance that I will get an appointment for next week? What's the chance that my next appointment will be in November? So I think that Boys Brigade, Boy Scouts, be prepared. Get your passports. Get your passport. Let your passports be there. Yes, I also have people who say, I got passport. I didn't travel anywhere with it. It's fine. Because we also have people who have missed great opportunities just because they did not have their passports. So
thank you so much, ma, for that section. Thank you so much, ma. We really do appreciate your expertise, and I'm sure we have learned a lot. And thank you so much for answering those questions. I'm sure that the participants already have more clarity on how to go about it. So without further ado, we'll be going straight into our next section. So I'll be sharing my screen again. Okay. So we have games. And can you please confirm you can see my section, my screen? Can anyone please confirm?
Yes, you are good.
Okay, thank you, sir. So now, I'm sure we paid attention, rapt attention during these sessions. And this, we've done the question and answer session. So we are on game section now. So for this game session, we have 3 questions. We have 3 questions. Now, the first question, so is the first person to drop their answers that wins these games, just like the previous one. So now, first question is, what platform is the competition for AI for Good hosted on? What platform is the AI for Good competition hosted on? This was during the first section, during the first presentation. What platform? So let's is the first person that types in the correct answer that wins. So now the second question is, how many stages are there to participate in the AI for Good challenge? How many stages are there to participate in the AI for Good challenge? So the third question is, how long does a passport validity for a visa application is for? how long does the password validity for our visa application is for? Then there's a bonus question. Are we typing? Are we dropping our answers? So there's a bonus question, and the bonus question is, name 5 basic documents for immigration. 5 basic documents, as the second speaker has mentioned. 5 basic documents. 5 basic documents for immigration. So I am sure that my colleagues on the group have already started creating the winners. They are there on the chat to create the winners. So we are going straight into the next section. Oh, so now this next part, before we go into the next section, please do well to fill in our feedback form. My colleagues are on the call. They will drop in the links to the feedback form. You can also scan the barcode here. Please do well to fill it in. You can take 1 minute to fill in the feedback form. We really need your feedback on what you really enjoyed and what we can do better in our next session, in our next program, and the things we can actually work on. So without further ado, we are going straight to the third presentation. I am sure that you all are prepared for it, and it's going to be an interactive section. So now to the third presentation, we have, it is titled Interactive Session on International Immigration Opportunities, and this will be taken by Dr. Ike Maduako. So I call on my other colleagues in person of Marcos to come up and read the citations for Dr. Ike Maduako. Marcos, are you on the call?
Yes, I'm on the call. Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon, okay.
So, Dr. Ike Maduako, he is a senior data scientist with more than 13 years of experience working with all forms of data. Some of his past projects include the development of an AI model for school location detection across the globe, cell tower detection across the globe, multi-sensor data analytics for early warning system for food security, heterogeneous sensor data, analytics framework for agriculture, change detection and prediction using different ML models on Earth observation data, knowledge graphs and graph data management in mobility analytics of transit system performance. His current area of work borders around advanced statistics and data science, machine deep learning, graph analytics, geospatial analytics intelligence, knowledge graph, cognitive computing, and data analytics for agriculture and humanitarian services. Ladies and gentlemen, let's make welcome Dr. Ike Maduako.
Okay, hi everyone.
Thank you so much.
Hi,
Thank
can
you
you
so
hear
much.
me?
Yes, we can hear you, Dr. Ike.
Okay,
Thank you
apologies.
so much, sir.
Yeah, apologies. I was actually running out from a meeting and yeah, I nearly canceled this, but like I told when I was approached, I wasn't sure I was gonna make it, but I'm actually here so I don't have a presentation. Essentially what I want to do is for us to interact. So I want you to ask as many questions as possible, right? Well, we all are surveyors. Thank you for the citation as well. So just ask me any question at all that as the way it bothers you when it comes to international opportunities. But one thing I can say before then is we should count ourselves very fortunate to be in this profession, because from my experience, what I can say is I'm sure many of you studied in schools where you have geoinformatics and surveying, or surveying and geoinformatics, or geoinformatics. But so it's quite a very multifaceted profession. Like I started off in I did my master's in Europe And then, of course, my PhD
Okay,
in Canada. But one thing I can say in Canada,
doctor. Okay.
yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. So, before we go straight into it,
Mhm.
we know about it being an interactive session, and we
Yeah,
have two questions for you here. So,
okay,
and some of
perfect.
the questions, some of them will be you're already trying to cover it now. So that's why I
Mhm.
tried to cut
Mhm.
in. So, I have two questions now. After you answer those questions, the participants then ask their questions. The floor will be open for the participants to ask their questions. So can I go ahead, sir?
Yeah, go ahead with the questions. Absolutely.
Thank you so much. So now the first question is, what has been your experience? How has been your experience? And how do you think young surveyors can make use of AI ML to advance their careers? How has been your experience like? How is it like? And how do you think young surveyors network, like young surveyors, can actually make use of AI, ML to advance their careers? Because now this session is actually tailored towards the young surveyors network, and we are looking at
Okay.
how our members can actually use AI, ML to advance their careers, and maybe your experience too can also inspire them.
Okay. I mean, I think those are very good questions. So let's call it geospatial data science, right? So for us, all of us know what geospatial is. We are all in the business of geospatial. And the interesting thing is the word is geospatial. So just think about it, like when I teach students, I try to show examples of where surveyors can work and things like that. And one thing you just find it difficult to actually find a place where you don't need the services of a surveyor or a geospatial data scientist. So one thing I can say quickly, addressing the question is um so when you talk about AI and machine learning and the rest of them, if you're already you're already trying to improve your skills, trying to learn some of these techniques, and then you're just building up a whole lot that is quite required out there. Like if you manage to, or even in Nigeria, or you manage to get your visas and you travel to UK or Canada or the US with the addition of programming or data science, and even let's call it not to even go too far into AI and machine learning, and then you'll be like the word we use, you'll be hot cake, as in you'll be everyone will be looking out for you, because my experience is, everyone, like right now, a lot of people are going into the field of data science because most companies are developing complex solutions that are data driven. The world is actually data driven right now. We say data is the new oil. But one of the things I found out working with even junior data scientists and the rest of the people, like you can come out from economics and you do well in data science, statistics, you do well in data science, computer science, and the rest of them. But the biggest problem they usually have, is when it comes to dealing with geospatial data, with data that has coordinates like longitude and latitude, or eastings and northings, doing transformations and projection and trying to create location-based questions. So most times companies are looking out for data scientists, because we are talking about ML here, or let's say surveyors who have the background, of dealing with geospatial data, who have the background dealing with coordinate systems and the rest of them. So, and there is virtually no data right now, be it social media data, data from LinkedIn or satellite data and the rest of them, that doesn't have a geospatial side. So, you can imagine someone like me, just imagine a surveyor working in UNICEF or a surveyor working in the IMF. IMF is in the business of lending money and international policies, but you know, they are looking for geospatial guys because essentially they want to be there at the headquarters at Washington, D.C. and be able to know what is happening on ground in many countries where they are that are their member countries. So there's a lot, but I will end up by saying that geospatial data science or geoinformatics or geomatics engineering is one particular profession that has almost 100% employment rate abroad. So if you are trying to up your skills, trying to bring in some, you know, skills in AI and machine learning, but let's call it geospatial data science. You have to start with data science, how to deal with data, how to, you know, crunch data, how to create visualizations, how to, you know, and then before you go into running, creating predictive models and the rest of them. So the opportunities are limitless, absolutely, when it comes to, if you have the skills. Even if you don't have the skill and you just come in as a surveyor, of course, if you know how to interact with computers and the rest of them, it will not take you time to you know, to grab those skills, and very, very important actually. So from my experience, the places you can work, you know, are boundless. You can imagine yourself working in places people will be like, what are you doing here? Like, I don't even know if surveyors, or we didn't think that surveyors could find themselves there. So yeah, it's a very good place for us. Are there
Thank
follow-up
you so
questions?
much.
Yeah.
Yes, they're actually follow-up questions. They're actually follow-up questions, sir. So Daniel asked that, what is the future of surveying, especially with the rise of AI, and how do we need to reshuffle our learning, to be tailored towards this new technology? Will the
Yeah,
rise of AI affect our jobs? I think this is a very lovely question.
Yeah, that's a very good question, actually, and we have to be very, but sometimes I said we shouldn't be too concerned. It depends on what you, you know, like I started with saying that is a multifaceted profession that you can find yourself in. If you are interested in doing, you know, oceanography, you can imagine surveyors are doing that. You are interested in remote sensing and the rest of them. So actually AI comes to make our lives even much more easier, and you know, try to fine-tune the things that we do, the way we do them. So it's not really a threat to our profession, but we can leverage it very nicely, because for example, the thing I can say quickly is we need to actually up our skills. We need to try to introduce, try as much as possible to have these skills, because for example, the world is fast evolving. Economies are evolving very fast. Things are moving extremely fast in this era, like you know, like we've never seen before. So when it comes to scale and speed at which you can deliver projects, that's where you need some of these technologies. For example, you know, an international organization comes to you, approaches you, and wants you to deliver a project, or a regional project that covers the entire Africa or sub-Saharan Africa. And maybe it has to do with mapping or something like that. And they want you to deliver that in 3 months, because they know that others are doing that. So if you don't have, you say, no, this is not possible because you don't have it. But if you have like AI skills and machine learning, you know that this is possible. For example, maybe they are interested in mapping all the schools in Africa, for example, within a year. And you can imagine how much it will take you to use traditional method that we are used to. So, but if you have the AI skills, you can say, okay, fine, I can actually, if I have high resolution satellite imageries and I build an AI model that can detect school locations on satellite imagery, maybe it will take me like 1 month or 2 months to build the AI model, and then we can acquire high resolution satellite imagery And within another 1 month, we can deploy the model on the regional satellite data and map all the schools in Africa and deliver the project within 4 months. So this is where maybe you'll be very worried that, okay, what's the future and everything if you don't have the skills? I mean, the worry will be like, okay, am I able to deliver project at scale and speed that are required in this current time? Otherwise, I think we just have to use it as a tool to do the things that we do very nicely.
Thank you so much for that question, sir. So there's another question by Juanco Regina. He is asking that, he is asking that, what is the roadmap to become a geospatial analyst?
That's a very good, very, very good question. So let's say geospatial data scientists, because we are all data scientists, because the science of surveying is quite deep actually. Most of you that study surveying, you did a lot of mathematics, you studied about the Earth's physical geodesy and geometric geodesy, you did some complex things, you did computing and the rest of them. So it's quite a very, very, very broad science of study. So you are a data scientist, you deal with data, you collect data, you try to transform the data in a way, and you try to present the data in a way like maps and the rest of them. So, but now to become a geospatial data scientist, where you have to bring in like latest technologies and algorithms like machine learning, deep learning, programming, most importantly, is, for example, if you're not, so you cannot be a geospatial data scientist or analyst, like you call it, without writing codes. So I would actually encourage all of you. Sometimes we think writing codes, is quite, can be very daunting or something like that. No, you have to start from somewhere. Python these days, with the advent of ChatGPT, large language model, all those things, you can easily write codes these days. Like you can go to ChatGPT and say, okay, I want to create a visualization, a map visualization from, just write in English language, and then it will generate the codes for you. So programming these days, actually, that's where the trouble is. Like the people who are worried are those who write codes, because someone said that in the next maybe 5 years, we won't need programmers because AI will be writing code. So let's understand, let's see how we can incorporate programming into, because you cannot do complex geospatial data science without writing codes. You cannot develop AI models and ML models without writing code. So the pathway will be to start learning, for example, Python. And then if you know how to Python, it's very, very important. If you can do JavaScript, for some of you who use, I don't know if many of you have heard about Google Earth Engine, which is a very interesting cloud platform that has data, all forms of data, satellite data, vector data, global data sets that you can think about, and then you have, sometimes you program right on the IDE using JavaScript, or sometimes you can call it through an API via Python or via R. Some of you, I don't know if you have heard about R, but I don't encourage you to go too deep into R. Python is actually quite good. It's the lingua franca right now for data science and everything. So the best way is to start with trying to up your skills in programming languages like Python and JavaScript and the rest of them. And once you are comfortable with that, of course, get involved in projects. So what I do, I mentor young data scientists. The way I mentor them is I try to, help. I try to expose them from wherever they are. It can be in Africa. I have guys who are in the US. I have young people who are doing their masters, both in Ivy League and everything. So what I do is I get you involved in projects, international projects, global projects. It's not like just because the best way right now to learn is when you get your hands dirty on some practical things, some things that are real. So that's one aspect, actually, get into mentorship programs and things like that.
Thank you so much, sir.
And so on and so forth. Yeah.
Thank you so much, sir. So because of our time, we have just one hand up, and we'll try to take it in 1 minute. Azubike Godswill, please, your question in 30 seconds, and Dr. Ike will be answering your question in 30 seconds as well. Azubike, can you hear me? Azubike. So, thank you. If Azubike is unable to speak, thank you so much, sir, for sharing your wealth of experience. And okay, I have okay, he said he can't unmute. So your David, please can you see to that?
That might be his maybe his application maybe needs to update. There are no issues with unmuting.
Okay, so you need to update your application, Azubike. So we'll rush up now. Thank you so much, Dr. Ike, for your presentation, and I'm sure that you've given clarity to a lot of things that people had in mind. We really do appreciate your time, even in your busy schedule, and also that you even wanted to turn this invitation down, but we really do appreciate you coming up here to speak and sharing your wealth of experience with us, the Young Soviet Network in Nigeria, especially in Lagos State. So we'll be moving straight to the next section.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Thank you. So, thank you, Sam. So we'll be moving to the next section. Apologies. I think my screen is not moving. Apologies, please. Okay. So I hope you all have filled the feedback form. If you've not, please do well to fill the feedback form now. This is it. And we need your feedback so as to know what to do and what to improve on in our programs. So without taking much of our time, I would like to invite Saviour David Elegbede.
Yeah.
To take the vote of thanks. Saviour David is the chair for the International Affairs Committee of Young Soviets Network, Lagos State. Saviour David, please, you have the floor.
Yeah, thank you very much, Sarah, and thank you for that wonderful moderation. And thanks to all the team members. We appreciate your efforts, and thank you to WISE and Lagos. And most importantly, thank you to all our guest speakers for today, our resource persons from Blessed. I understand how busy the schedule is in Rwanda, so I strongly and deeply appreciate your time. And Mrs. Taye Ekieme, thank you very much for your time also. And Dr. Ike, I know it was not just convenient, but I'm happy to see that you were able to come. We appreciate, and hopefully we will be doing this in another version next time. And to everyone who took time to attend, thank you very much. Now, there are two things I'm supposed to do. So I am supposed to also announce the names of those who won the questions that were asked at the different interval. The first one after the first presentation, and also the second one that came up before the third session. Yep. Well, we have a token. We were just supposed to ask for the account details so that we can send the funds in there. But somehow there were 5 questions and we wanted just 2 winners. So what we would now do is that since the 5 person has different winners, we would now we will be splitting. So we have Azubike Godwin as one of the winners, Wasil Sani as one of the winners, Reginald as one of the winners, Rihanna as one of the winners, Shitu Benga as one of the winners. So you will get a recharge card of 2,000 naira each, and so all you need to do is just to chat up on WhatsApp or meet any of the executive. Well, I would have just said chat up, but it's difficult for me to say chat up because I assume that only 4 people have my contact here. Well, so don't worry, just feel free. Chat up or meet any of the executives so that you can get a contact and it will be credited. Thank you very much. Thank you everyone for attending. And thank you, Sarah. Over to you. Sarah, you have the floor.
Okay, so thank you so much, everyone. Thank you so much, Xavier David, for that vote of thanks. I would like to say thank you so much, everyone, for being attentive and for being a very good participant. Like, I really do enjoy moderating this session. And with that, I'll be saying, before I forget, I would really love to thank and appreciate the speakers for today as well. Thank you so much for taking out time to attend and even share out of your wealth of knowledge. Thank you so much. And with this, I would say we have come to the end of today's program. With this, sorry, my screen is not moving. With this, we have come to the end of today's program, and we hope you all to join our future events. And also, please do well to fill in the feedback form, and we'll see you all later. Bye-bye.